It's the second video of the simple cycler, just showing where we are with the construction and the prototype on my bench. So there we have the case, the unit in the case. On the front we've got the SparkFun 16x2 LCD and a simple push switch, and that's what controls the unit. At the front we've got two wires. This wire here on the left is the wire to the IMA battery connections. This wire here on the right is the wire to the 100 watt load, and normally I would expect that to be mounted permanently inside the IMA compartment or somewhere like that, so it can't be touched. Alternatively, think of different places to mount it. It could be mounted on top of the unit here in a grill so that you can't get at it, or at the back. There's different places to mount that. People might decide to use some alternative load. So then we have on the back of the unit, we've just got the mains in, and also the logging output connection, which is just the pickaxe serial to USB lead. It's plugged into my laptop here, which is running a test version of the logging software and the PLX DAQ data acquisition utility. So I'll plug it in, turn it on. So when you turn it on, you get the splash screen initially, and the fan is powered up because there's a wire here from the unit that also powers the battery fan on the battery there. So the battery's turned on. It tells us the voltage of the battery there, tells us the mode it's in, and logging doesn't do anything until you activate that mode using the charger. So from here, if I press and hold the button in, the mode M1, M2 will cycle through the available modes that the unit has. It's actually got 6 modes, and we'll go through those in sequence. So if I activate mode 1, the unit is now charging. Unit's now charging. You can see the C1 there is on, and then mode 1, we're in mode 1. So it's now charging at 300 milliamps, and it will charge until the voltage has risen to our cutoff voltage, or a certain amount of time has elapsed. If I press the button again, it will immediately cancel that. So I can select now mode 2. Sorry, I missed that there. I'll just select that again. Okay, see now we have D1, that means discharge is active, and mode 2, so the load is now on, and I'll be getting warm as it dissipates its 100 watts or so at this voltage, and you can see the voltage is just dropped down very slightly. Now cancel that mode, and again that mode 2, it would have just discharged until it reached its cutoff voltage, which is 100 volts in the standard discharge mode. So now if I go to mode 3, obviously the software is a very early version, so there's quite a bit of tweaking to do. Now mode 3 is a cycling mode, and what it will do, it will charge to the cutoff point, or 24 hours, then it will discharge to the cutoff point, or 24 hours elapsed, then it will charge again, and then it will discharge again, and finally it will charge again. Mode 4 is a very similar mode, but it does one extra discharge and one extra charge cycle, and it discharges in each of these stages to 100, 75 and 50 volts in mode 4. So I can turn it off. And finally, if I turn on mode 5, that toggles the logging on and off, so the LCD display is disabled on the unit when the logging is on. If we go over to the display here, it's probably quite difficult to see, but we have data coming in. Initially it comes in at once a second when logging starts, but if I then activate the charge mode, after a minute the logging reduces to once a minute, so that you can get the entire charge-discharge cycles onto the spreadsheet for later analysis. So the first minute of logging is once a second, so you can see what's happening. After that the logging cuts back to once a minute, so that you can all fit on the spreadsheet. So that's it. Pressing any of the buttons cancels that. And to get the display, you can either power off the unit, or you can hold the button back in and reset it to reset the display. So that's where we are at the minute. I'll just take the top off so you can see inside. Turn it off first. Unplug it. Here we are inside the unit. Got the Spark Fun display at the front. The 3 power supplies in this particular one, which is set up for normal HCH1 and Insight G1 batteries, so that's 290 volt power supplies and the 12 volt power supply. As we went through these bits and pieces before, the electronic circuitry at this end with the PIC and a couple of 2 amp fuses. I haven't put a thermal fuse in here at the moment, but there is a space on the printed circuit board for one, so that the temperature in the case can be detected. Also, I may change the PIC so that the temperature in the unit can also be detected, and servers are shut down as well. So that's where we are at the moment. I've sent out a couple of printed circuit boards to some of my beta testers, and we'll see how it actually works on some batteries in practice.